Hello and welcome Helldivers. The Freedom Flame weapon has released along with the huge patch. That is the escalation of freedom. There is some new enemies and they add 10 difficulty super Helldive. But today we are not going to talk about that. But we will focus on the Freedom Flame weapon. There's a lot of weapon released in the weapon. But alas, there is a nerf on fire weapon just before the flame weapon. Isn't that ironic? Developer just nerfed the entire weapon one day before it comes out. Nevertheless, we shall see how bad or good it is. And now we are going to review the first weapon that the weapon has to offer. That is the Cookout shotgun. This is the incendiary version of the slugger. It costs 20 medals on the first page of the weapon. And first, we will see the stats on it. A pump shotgun that fires a burst of incendiary phosphorus pellets, setting target ablaze. It has 320 damage, 16 capacity, 100 recoil, that's an insane of recoil, and 80 fire rate. It has light armor penetrating, rounds reload, the same as slugger, and of course it has incendiary traits. And we will compare it with the breaker incendiary. Yes, it was different, but it has the same traits. And recently the breaker incendiary has a huge nerf. Now it has only 4 spare max capacity, but it applies to, for the cookout, it has 60 spare rounds. By the count of its 16 capacity max, overall it has 4 spare max too. The damage is higher and it has lower capacity, huge degree of recoil, it's more than twice, and lower fire rate too. At first sight, you can see this weapon is not better than the breaker, but there is unwritten trait here, that is staggering shot. Yes, by the huge recoil it has, of course the burst will be huge too. And it will stagger enemies, knock back enemies, and cancel animation or stun lock enemies. And it is super good. And please don't let developer nerf this. If they did, it will be double nerf on fire, and stagger it will be garbage. Okay, let's see how good it is in Terminid mission. Because it's an incendiary weapon, almost small bugs, hunter, poacher, scavenger, and battle speeder die in one shot. And it's a shotgun, so the spread is big. And you can kill one wave of hunters easily if you ambush them first. And just like the breaker incendiary, this weapon is very good against a horde of shrieker. And the warrior, you can one-shot them in the head or a couple shot in the body. And for the medium armored bugs, the hive guard, the battle spear, it's a bit tricky. You can shot them in front, but it's gonna be long because you cannot penetrate their armor. But you do have fire damage, so they will die eventually. And for the brute commander or the alpha commander, it's gonna be easy because they cannot even get close to you. It's stagger and knock back them until you can't even see them anymore. And the same as stalker. They cannot even get close to you because they stagger, but you cannot knock back them like the alpha commander. And the fire rate is fast enough for you to aim 2 different stalkers. And that's it for the Terminids. Because above medium armor, there's charger, impaler, and Balton, which has heavy armor. Yes, you can damage them in the sack of charger and battle titan, but that will be so long. If you are playing higher difficulty, this is just waste of time. Okay, let's continue to Automaton's missions. I think shotguns is not the best weapon you can bring in Automaton missions, but for the sake of reviewing this weapon, I will do it anyway. For the small robots such as Commissar and Trooper, they can almost one-shot by this weapon. If they don't die, they will eventually because of the fire damage. And for the Devastator, you can actually stun lock them, cancelling their animation for attacking you, but it's gonna be long because you cannot aim their weakness properly with a shotgun. And the Berserker is easier because their weakness in the belly is huge and they cannot even get close to you. The problem is the new Scout Strider, which has no open pilot in the back, and it has heavy armor plate and medium armor leg, so you seem almost cannot damage them at all. You can aim the rocket beside them, but if you take too long to kill them, they can literally one-shot you even you have 150 armor. And the only fan you can damage is only the hook. And for the tanks, you need medium armor penetration to actually hit their fans. And the problem is you cannot damage gunship too, because they need at least medium armor penetration. So I think this weapon is not very good against automatons, even though it's actually good against Devastator. Okay, for the conclusion, the damage in this gun is 320, very big even for a shotgun, and it has fire damage too, so it's gonna be double DPS, and the fire rate is actually not slow either, so it's very good for damage. And this weapon has a fire damage trait and has unwritten stagger trait, so it is actually a unique weapon that has two traits, so it is very good. Unfortunately, it has light armor penetration, so only half of the mobs can be taken by this weapon, especially the automatons. I don't advise to take this weapon, so it's not very good. The fire rate on this weapon seems so slow, but the pellet from one bullet is a lot. And the good thing is the enemies taking burn damage while your fire rate is loading, unlike the breaker, which you can spam the shot. And unfortunately, you need to reload rounds on this weapon, but you can always reload after taking 3 or 4 shots, so for the fire rate and ammo is average. And the annoying part is the developer have nerfed burning damage before this Warburn release, so it really triggering a lot of people. So I rate this weapon good. And honestly, I like this weapon more than the incendiary breaker because it has two traits, which is fire damage and stagger. And please, Arrowhead, don't nerf the stagger just like the pummeler. Okay, that's it for this Cookout shotgun. What do you guys think about it? I hope you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Good day.